Hey guys, what's going on? In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to design a beanie inside of Procreate. I'm going to show you what steps to take it to the next level. All right, so make sure you stay tuned because this will help you make your mockups look even better, more fire, and help you design for your clothing brand. It also has a little twist on it. I'm doing an LV Bape beanie. Don't ask me why I'm doing Bape a second time in a row. Mind your business. I'm gonna have timestamps available in the description, so make sure you look in there. It's gonna have each section so you can skip to whatever part is relevant to you. If you're getting value from my videos, please don't forget to show some love and subscribe. It supports me. It helps me make videos like this for you guys to help y'all design for y'all clothing brand. I appreciate y'all. Let's get with the video. Alright guys, so we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. Okay, like I said, we're making a beanie today. We're gonna do a Bape slash LV beanie, right? So I have my picture right here and I'm just gonna start off tracing it. Okay, but first I'm gonna turn on that drawing guide. If you've been watching me for a little bit, you know how we roll out here, right? All right, so now once I have that set up, I'm gonna go back to tracing out the beanie. Okay, and we really just need this for the silhouette, right? We just need this picture reference here just for the silhouette. Okay, so we're gonna get this traced out. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a nice little tidbit right here, nice nugget. The thinner that you make your lines, the more realistic your mockup will look. So when I first started, I was making my outlines a lot more thicker because I did kind of like that look. However, it makes it look a bit more cartoony, unrealistic. And when I started using more thinner lines, or outlines I should say, I found that I liked them way more than using thicker outlines. So just a tidbit for you guys, if you wanted to look more realistic on Procreate, there's just use thinner outlines. The brush I'm using right here to trace it is just the syrup brush. I forget which one where you can find it in. It might be in inking, but it's a default brush, right? And I have it set to probably, that might be 1% right there. But yeah, for the most part, this is done. I'm just gonna get that fold of that outer layer of the beanie. I'm gonna get that fold. Just gonna try and get that nice and precise. And once we have that, we don't need the reference anymore. We've traced it, and then we can move on to the next step. Okay, so now, like I said, we don't need the reference anymore. I'm going to duplicate this layer 2 times, and then I'm going to rename them. So this bottom one is color. We're going to do our color drop on that one. The second one will be the blur. That's going to add some shadows, adding some more depth to the mockup. And then the top one will be the top outline. We're not going to touch that, right? So now I'm going to get a color drop. I don't want to use black because it'll just, how do I say this? It's just going to be hard to see, basically. So I use like a dark gray, just like the background. I turn off the white background because I feel like I can see it better when that white background is away. I don't know why, I just have to do it. Okay. So you see, I changed the color, and now I'm adding the Gaussian blur to the blur layer, and I'm just trying to see what looks good. But you can already see how adding that Gaussian blur adds a little bit more depth now. You know, one step in getting realistic. I mean, the main key to making your mockups look good, or one of the main keys, is the shadows. Shadows and the highlights play a very crucial role, definitely. Okay, and now, like I said, I'm gonna add the shadow. So I'm gonna add the shadows to right above that outer layer, the outer fold of the beanie. I'm going to add that there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase a bit of that once I add some more Gaussian blur on there. I'm using a soft brush to make these shadows. I'm using a soft brush, right? That softens it up a bit. So we are on to our next round of shadows, and this will add more depth to the beanie, right? Because now it's like we're adding a plane. But once I add the Gaussian blur and I add the highlights, it'll really sell the mock-up and the realism to it. So I'm just doing that top part, just trying to make sure it makes sense, and then I'm gonna do that bottom part as well. But like I said, I want it to make sense. So now I have that bottom part. I'm gonna go ahead and add my Gaussian blur, and once I add that Gaussian blur, now the shadows start to look better and make more sense. So now it really looks like, okay, there's a top part, and then there's that middle part, and then there's the bottom part where it just has that shadow where it's like, okay, this part is sticking out, and there's some parts that's not getting hit by the light. I kind of went kind of technical, but basically I'm adding the depth. All right, I'm showing you guys the dimension, and like I said, this is one of the crucial keys in just making your mockups look way more appealing and realistic. Now you see I'm playing around with it, trying to make the shadows a bit darker. I duplicate it, then I merge them together, and then it's on to the top part of the beanie. All right, yeah, so for the most part the shadows are done. You see how I soften it up a bit, like I said, adding more dimension. Might throw some Gaussian blur, a little bit more Gaussian blur on that, but now I'm just kind of just looking at stuff. I'm just tweaking and refining it now. All right, and then we're gonna move on to the next step. Okay, so this next step right here takes the mockup to a whole nother level. I'm going to be adding some textures and some added fabrics on there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this, and you can see the LV distress embroidery logo on the bottom right. You can see that. We'll get to that in a little bit, but for right now we're gonna add, like I said, the textures on there. So you see we setting it up. All right, boom, and already looking at that turns it up. Like that really turns it up, right? It's crazy. So but I'm gonna play around with it, try to change the blend modes and see what looks good, right? You gotta experiment, you gotta play around what looks good on them, you feel me? So yeah, I'm gonna turn it down just a hair, right? Just a bit. Renaming my layer. It's always good to rename the layer, okay? Okay, so now I'm gonna add some more textures to it. This is to give that beanie this irregular, I don't want to say pattern, but lighting and shadows. This once again helps sell it, makes it look even better, right? So I just turned it down a little bit. I'm gonna add a Gaussian blur to soften it up a little bit more, right? And that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Now you see I add my highlights right there. Once again, another thing to just add the realism. I'm duplicating it because I want to increase the effect. I want to make it brighter, and I turn it down just a little bit. Okay, now I'm testing some stuff out. I put it underneath the shadows. I really need to rename my layers. Don't follow in my footsteps. Do not follow in my footsteps. Rename your layers, okay? But yeah, no, that looks pretty good. Pretty good for sure. It definitely looks like a beanie, right? But we still have some more work to do. So we're gonna go to the next part. Okay, so in this part, I'm going to add in my Bape Camo. It's the same Bape Camo that I used in my previous video, but I changed the color, yeah. Okay, also real quick, if you guys are liking the process videos, the tutorials, please subscribe, drop a comment. All right, show some love. At the end of the day, I appreciate it. It helps me put out more content so that y'all can design for your clothing brand, or if you want to design your own clothes and be a clothing streetwear clothing designer, right? Either way, I'm here for you. Your support helps me. All right, so now you see when I add that camo, yo, that really turned it up, right? So now I'm just changing the LV sign to match color and the vibe. Okay, I'll probably have in a separate video how to get that embroidery stitching effect on a logo. I'll have that in another video. I don't know when I'll come out with that, but if y'all want that, say so in the comments. But now I'm going to add some depth to the LV logo, right? All right, and here I'm adding some distressed embroidery to the logo. I just wanted to have this just distressed effect. If you want to do the same effect, there is a brush called Swordgrass. It's in the organic tab or section of the brushes, and it creates the same effect, right? It creates the same effect. You can do the same thing. So it's a free brush. It's a default brush within Procreate. So if you want to do the same thing, you can do that as well. But right now, I'm just going through the outline of the logo, and then I'm going to add some shadows to just pull it apart and just make it look more realistic, right? All right, guys. So for the most part, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys gained some value. I hope you guys were able to take some inspiration and learn how to design a beanie for your brand. If you guys want, I can make a video on how I made the camo for this, but just drop it in the comments. Once again, please subscribe, show love. I really appreciate it. You guys have been showing crazy love on one of my videos, and I appreciate every single one of y'all just showing support. Just know it doesn't go unnoticed, and I just really appreciate y'all, for real. I hope I can be of value and of service to you guys. If you want me to design for your clothing brand, I have a form you can fill out in the description below. If you want to start designing for your clothing brand, I have a mock-up pack that you guys can use. You see how I'm designing. You see how I turned this up. If you want to make designs like this, that mock-up is the way to go. And I know it's a shameless plug, but it's real results behind this. Everything that I'm doing, you can do too with that mock-up pack. I haven't added this beanie texture in there though, but it's coming soon. But it's valid. It'll get you right. It'll get you right. I'm trying to tell you guys. But hey, if you like the video, here's the final product. Fire LV Bape. I mess with it. I'm not gonna lie. I mess with it a lot, man. Look at the quality on that. Look at the shadows, the highlights, bro. I'm telling you. Crazy. Alright, guys. Once again, you guys take it easy. I'm gonna let this video just play out, adding some little effects on there. God bless y'all. Keep going crazy. I'm gonna see y'all.